Pwede ako sa procedure yan.
Okay. This event is an assembly, a regional assembly of a national assembly of the Guardians Brotherhood Incorporated, hosted by the Tacloban chapter. That's the reason why we are here. The other purpose is, since the Brotherhood is also a pillar of the People's Solidarity Federal Movement or Federal Party, we also find it an occasion to educate our members regarding our concept of federalism. And so we finished two programs actually today. One is the national meeting of the Guardians plus the regional meeting of the PSFP. When I say PSFP, People's Solidarity Federal Party. We are moving towards a registration of this party with the COMELEC by the end of the year or by the beginning of 2018. So our meeting today is an initial step towards that registration, because one of the requirements for registering a national party, political party, is its capability to launch a national campaign, number one, and to prove that we are present all over the country. So insofar as Region 8, Region 7, and parts of Mindanao is concerned, they are all represented here. This is one proof that indeed the PSFP, together with the Guardians Brotherhood Incorporated, can launch a national campaign. So that is why we are here. Well, we are following the cue from the President. You know, and I know you know very well that one of the programs, if you may say, of the President, I am referring to President Rodrigo Duterte, is the conversion of our system from a centrist unitary form of government to a federal system. Getting the cue from the President, the GBI has initiated all these activities to, one, advocate for federalism, and number two, to call for the people to participate in this momentous event, because this is the only way, according to the President, by which we can correct the injustices of the past, no? By converting our system from centrist to a federal form of government. It's not a question of kaya. It's a question of must kaya. Because this is a correction of an American centrist experiment. It should not be this way. It should not be this way. The Philippines was previous to the Treaty of Paris of 1898, December 10 of 1898. We were already federal. We were federal. Existing barangays, existing nations have their own governments. They have also their own resources. They own their gold. They own their copper. It was only when the Americans came that ownership was taken by the national government. And so what Duterte is only trying to do is to correct that mistake and go back to what we were supposed to be at the turn of the century. So your question is whether kaya or hindi. Number one is that kaya. Why? There is no part of the Philippines without natural resources. And when we call natural resources, we do not only mean metallic resources. We have the sea resources. We have the tourist resources. We have many kinds of resources. In fact, there are even places that are advocating now for health tourism. That is a natural resource. So, point to me a part of the Philippines na hindi mayaman. Yung tao siguro ang pobre. But no part of the land of this country is a poor land. Not even Samar, not even Leyte, or not even those Yolanda victims, the land is rich. Unfortunately, the people are poor. Why? Because of the centrist unitary system that was introduced by the United States. And so I take this opportunity that GBI is calling for the president to assume revolutionary powers. Because that is the only way. That is the only way. We cannot convert from unitary centrist system to a federal system under a democratic atmosphere. Why? Will Congress allow it? Of course not. So what will you do? Are we going to say no because Congress says no? You have to remember that the sovereignty resides on the people. And so one of the purposes of this National Assembly is to tell our members that, look, the sovereignty resides on us, not on them. We better call upon our people. And, well, you are in the media, you know what is now happening to the country. With the Bautista incident, with the 64 million corruption, and we have a Marawi, we have a drug problem over. The centrist unitary system is dissolving by itself. It is melting down. It is melting down. Why does it melt down? Because hindi haum eh. How do you say that in Waray? It's not fitted. It is a square peg on a round hole, or a round peg on a square hole. That's the reason why it is melting down. Now, once it melts down, we have to be ready. At least the Guardians Brotherhood Incorporated, together with its alliances, should be ready. Why? Because if we will not be ready, the mutants of LP, the mutants of the corrupt system, will again get it, like what happened in 1986. In 1986, that was the greatest moment that we could have changed this country. But what happened? Pinabayaan natin si Cory. Di bumalik na naman yung mga, So we will not allow that to happen this time around. And GBI, the Guardians Brotherhood Incorporated, is taking the lead. And again, I will say, taking this opportunity from your great station, that the GBI, together with all its alliances, the old RAM people, the old U people, the Guardians already who are retired from the service, are joining us together in demanding that the President immediately assumes a revolutionary power. There are two kinds of revolution. An armed revolution and a peaceful revolution. By merely changing our mindset, we are already revolting. By merely changing our mindset to transfer the sovereignty from those above to down is already a revolution by itself. So what are you talking about? So I encourage, we tell our people, wag matakot. Because merely changing our mindset from what the Americans have done to our normal self as Filipinos, or as Warays, or as Cebuanos, or as Igoros, or whatever that is, in our normal native way, is already a revolution by itself. We don't need arms to revolt. We call the President, and all those, Congress is no longer responding to us. What is Congress doing now is only pera. Now they filed another bill. You might have read that already. The bill requiring all mining companies to take a legislative franchise. You can just imagine how stupid these congressmen are. Ano akala nila sa atin? So, I'm thankful that you endeavored to join us this afternoon, for you to get our side on this. We are doing this in the eastern side of Visayas. Eastern ito, no? Yes. In a few days, we'll be doing it in the western side or in the central Visayas, in Cebu, because we have done this already in Pampanga. We have done this in Pampanga. So all over the country, our alliances, MILF, MNLF, part of the NPA, maybe, and the guardians are all with us. Ang importante is the president should be supported, should be protected. Why? We have here a president who had challenged the establishment that was put up by the Americans. From the time of Aguinaldo up to the last Aquino, they never challenged that system. It is only now that it is challenged. Now, question, would the Americans allow that to happen? The answer is no. And you would know how they will resist it. Now, the only way to protect the president is for the people to rise up and protect the president. And for him to assume immediately, not sooner than later, revolutionary powers. Congress, we repeat, with all the shenanigans and all the corruption in Congress, there is nothing more that Congress can deliver to us except their own PDAP and all. Imagine, hindi pa nila kinonfirm si Tagiwalo who is delivering. You know that after your Yolanda experience here, you know how she delivered. And you know, hindi nila, you know, how stupid these people could be.
I'm asking this the next question, sir. Would this be enough? Since alam na po natin, obviously naman na karamihan dyan, pera-pera ang sistema. Hindi po parang naiintingi sa boses ng publiko.
You know, I'll answer it this way. Mahirap. Mahirap. That's the reason why we have to come up with this kind of activities, starting with the organized groups. And one of the organized groups is GBI. Tapos, dun sa guardians kasi, embedded sa doktrina nila, the protection of the Filipino banner. So, hindi na mahirap. Okay? That's one. Number two is that we just have to put the challenge. You know, on a personal note, I fear the day when my grandchildren will be spitting on my grave. Baka sasabihin lang nila na, you have all the time and all the chance to do something. You did nothing. So that is also our challenge to every member of this organization and every family listening to us now. Do this for the future. For the future. We may not be able to do it for ourselves because the time element is very short. So all of these are sacrifices. Ito nanggaling ng Mindanao, nanggaling kung saan-saan, on their own. Wala kaming pundo dito. All voluntary. And that is the beauty here. Because we can, unlike the traditional parties, hindi sila makapagtapok ng tao na walang pera. Di ba? May envelope, may resources, etc. So, again, thank you so much, no? Unless there is any other questions.
Last na lang po, hanggang saan po yung kayong maglaban po itong purpose?
Well, we started this way before the elections. Okay? A little more push will not make a difference anymore. Nabasa kami. A little more push will no longer make a difference. So, ang ginagawa lang po namin is to wake up all other sleeping people who have not yet seen the truth that we have been taken advantage of by people who had made the government their coffers, their government their piggy banks, yung anak nila, kapatid nila, kabit nila, nandyan lahat sa gobyerno. You can just imagine that. You know, so again, this is a challenge. We have no illusion that this will be easy. We did not have the illusion. But as I have said, if this is a final sacrifice that we have to make, we will make it. We will make it. So thank you again, and God bless.